Welcome everyone to the Lung Cancer Awareness Month meeting. And we have so many good speakers. We're gonna bring all the fundraising activities and the awareness and what we're gonna do to basically raise more money for our cause. And I just want to introduce Kirk. I'm wearing one of his sayings, which is, it's not live, it's live. And he's wearing a sweatshirt. And Kirk and I were about 1 year apart from each other. And I believe I got diagnosed in 2013. Without research, I don't think I'd be here in 2022. And I'm going to pass it over to Kirk. You got to mute, Kirk.
Yep, I got you.
All right, there you go. All right.
Thanks, Mark, and good to see everybody tonight. If you guys are on the East Coast and are like me, your phone alarm probably just went off for your 7 o'clock ALKtALK dose time. So I take mine twice a day. So I know a lot of y'all, I think it was one of the things that was most entertaining to me at the summit, the ALK summit in Denver, is watching everybody's phones go off about the same time to remind us all to take our medication. So it's an interesting world we live in, but glad to be here with all of you guys and glad y'all are here with us. Before I introduce Ken Culver, Dr. Ken Culver, who is has just joined ALK-positive a little over a month ago, wanted to give y'all just a little bit of brief history because we're talking a little bit about fundraising and research tonight. And so I'm going to share the screen. Can all of y'all see that? Somebody can just nod, wave your hand. And so this is just a brief slide on the selecting and funding of research that ALK-positive organization has done since we began. From 2017, when the ALK-positive organization was formed, through the end of 2021, end of last year, all of you, everybody that's been a part of ALK-positive and has been a part of fundraising, has raised over $6 million. Vast majority of that has gone directly to funding research that's focused on improving the outcomes of ALK-positive cancer patients. And by the end of this year, end of 2022, it is expected that over $5 million will have been awarded to fund grants for both translational research and phase 1 clinical trials. We'll soon be announcing the award, announcing 3 awards. This news should be coming out in the next couple of weeks. We're not allowed to put it out publicly as far as the specifics yet, but it's part of the funding that we do. And just to give you a little bit more background, in 2018, we had $700,000 that was awarded through a partnership with Longevity Foundation. Then again, in 2019, it was $500,000. 2020, we awarded $1.6 million for 3 grants for research designed to combat acquired resistance to ALK TKIs. And this year, in 2022, we've already partnered with Lung Cancer Research Foundation to award 3 $250,000 grants for 2-year research projects. And then this last item here on the screen is $1.5 million. And we're going to be announcing these awards very soon as we head into Lung Cancer Awareness Month. And so I wanted you guys to see that. I thought it was important for you guys. A lot of you may not know and not been here long enough to know all the background of ALK-positive and how much it's been raised, and then the progress that's been made. So before I introduce Ken, and Ken Culver came to us really it's interesting to me how connections to me are such a part of our lives, and certainly a part of my life. And Ken came to us through a connection with Summer, who is here as part of our crew here with ALKtALK, and all of you know Summer, I'm sure, and her father, Ray Hall, who I believe is on the call. I think I saw him earlier. Ray worked with Ken, and back when they were at Novartis together, and Ken came to us through that connection, which has been terrific. Personally, I have a connection to Ken because of my disease. When I was diagnosed in 2013, the first drug I was on was a drug called Xalkori, which many of you may be familiar with, but a lot of you may not have been around at that time. I was on Xalkori for about 4 months, but had a lot of side effects that were causing serious issues, liver enzymes, that kind of thing. It was working against my cancer, but it was having some life-threatening issues dealing with liver enzymes. And in April, I believe it was April 30th of 2014, FDA approved a drug called ceritinib from Novartis. And Ken, our Ken, Dr. Ken Culver, that I'm about to introduce, was a major part of the creation, the research of ceritinib. And for the next 3.5 years, I was able to live a very active, very good life while taking that medication. And it really is the reason that I am still here today. There wasn't, at that time, there was nothing else. And if I didn't have ceritinib, and then I wouldn't still be around. So I owe Ken and his team my life, essentially. I mean, a lot of us do. And I think that's things that we're talking about here. We're talking about really, real life or death issues with the research that comes and is the result of this, this research, the medication, the treatment that's the result of this research. So with that, Ken has been a terrific addition. We really enjoyed having him part of the team. We had a board meeting today, and Ken gave us a really good update on all the things he's been doing. And so I'm looking forward to having him talk to you guys. So Ken, I'm going to hand it over to you.
Thank you, Kirk, for that very generous introduction. I was just one of many people involved in ceritinib getting to market, and more importantly to patients following that. And thank you, Ray, for introducing me to ALK-positive. So my name's Ken Culver. I'm a physician by training, and immunology is my specialty, which is taking over oncology now, right? And you'll see that in a lot of things we do at ALK-positive already. Is immunotherapy is the transformative new area in cancer therapy. And so it's a real privilege to be a part of that. I've been meeting people and going to meetings for the last month, and I've learned that ALK-positive is a really healthy, diverse, smart, and capable organization. So for those of you that haven't had the opportunity to work in it directly, I can tell you as a new person who is getting to learn, I've been really impressed with the organization and the people. It's a great organization, and I'm feeling really privileged to be a part of it. Mark asked me to spend a few minutes talking about why research is important. And of course, on the surface, we all know research is important, right? No drug gets to market to patients unless there's research. So in some ways, it's like the obvious answer, but research is not so simple. When I started after I graduated from medical school, I started my pediatric residency at the University of California, San Francisco, which was arguably the very best pediatric program in the country. Sorry for those of you in Boston. But the reason I mention that is our ward was full of children who had terminal diseases, most of which who'd never leave the hospital. And it was in that environment that I said, wait a minute, I'm not going to be a general pediatrician and go back to Iowa like I had planned. I want to go into research and see if I can change the prognosis, the future, the hope for people who have terminal diseases. And so with that, I went to the National Institutes of Health, and I spent 6 years there working on novel new therapies, primarily around gene therapy and cell therapy. And from there, I went on to work in the pharmaceutical industry for about 25 years. Now, as Kirk alluded to, when I was at Novartis, for the United States, I was the lung cancer strategy lead for all of our compounds, whether they were BRAF inhibitors, ALK inhibitors, MET inhibitors, checkpoint inhibitors, whatever they might be. And through that experience, I got to witness and get to know a lot of patients and people across the lung cancer community. And so our research arm up in Boston started a clinical trial in ALK-positive lung cancer, and they only enrolled ALK-positive lung cancer. You know, normally when you do a phase 1 clinical trial, you enroll a variety of cancer types, just like Pfizer did with Xalkori, which led, of course, to the understanding that Xalkori was a really good ALK inhibitor. And we all thought, wow, what a risk this is taking. What if ceritinib is really good for colon cancer or lung cancer, prostate cancer or something else? But Novartis persisted. And I'll tell you that ceritinib made it to market and approved by the FDA on a phase 1 trial. So the FDA actually wrote an article that they published talking about the unique way that ceritinib gets to market. So you might say, all right, Ken, well, that's really nice. Congratulations, Novartis. Why does that matter to me? It matters because that would have never happened if there hadn't been preclinical data to show how good ceritinib is in ALK-positive patients. So we as ALK-positive are working with the very best researchers around the world. And we're saying to them, we want you to focus on ALK. We want ALK to be as important as EGFR or lung cancer in general, or prostate cancer, wherever it is you're working. We want you to make ALK a priority. The grant research we're doing is not just making ALK a priority, but it's generating evidence so that companies like Novartis will say, this is where we want to invest. This transition from early research to commercial application that makes drugs available to thousands of patients can only be done when groups like ALK-positive make an investment at that critical time that enables research to become what we want it to be. And so I wanted to just finish by saying, Kirk, that if you think about ALK and the importance of ALK in the context of cancer research, if we ALK-positive don't make ALK a priority for our investigators, who will? So I'm privileged to be here. I hope, Mark, these remarks are helpful and useful to your plan. But again, thank you so much for the opportunity and for me to personally share in this purpose we all have to find not just better treatments for ALK-positive, but a cure as we work together. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome aboard. And Amanda Nurstead will be speaking next. Thank you so much, Ken.
Thank you so much, Ken. We are so excited that you're here. And we know that we all feel confident that you can help take us to the next level. My name is Amanda Nurstead. I was diagnosed with ALK-positive lung cancer in 2016. And I am here tonight to get everyone excited about raising money for ALK research. We are finalizing all of the matching donations. Currently, we have 120,000 matching donations, and we hope to double that. We are still confirming some others, so we will keep you posted on that end. Also, we have some incentives. There will be a virtual celebration for the top donors for Lung Cancer Awareness Month in November, and it will be fun to get everyone together. And so how do we fundraise? One thing that we can do is definitely Lung Cancer Awareness Month. You know, tell your story, make it personal. Christina's going to talk about the specifics of setting up your fundraising link and everything. But for us as a for me personally, we do a lot of it as a family. I set up my link within the website. And then I emailed all of my friends and family my personal story, and also here's my link. We also did a virtual party. I emailed all of them and I set a date, and I also said, we're going to celebrate and I'm going to tell you about my own story and fundraise. So just, you have to kind of be creative about it. For us also, we do lemonade stands. We've done about 4 of them. It kind of came organically from at the time, my 7-year-old we were talking about a summer bucket list, and she mentioned a lemonade stand. And so we wrote down lemonade stand, and then she said that she wanted to do it for a cause. And I was thinking she was going to say for all the little puppies or an animal shelter, but instead she said, I want to do it for lung cancer. So we emailed all of our friends and family, we set up a lemonade stand, and I just hoped and prayed that people would show up. My girls had a goal of $100, so I hoped 100 people would show up and buy a glass of lemonade. And that the first time we did it, we made just over $5,000. I also contacted our local news. You know, I asked them, what are they doing for Lung Cancer Awareness Month? And I'm a lung cancer survivor. And, you know, I was a story on the news. So think about it that way as well. Our family now, we have sponsors for our Lemonade for Lungs fundraiser. We have a bounce house and a DJ and all these fun things. So you have to kind of be creative, think about things that you can do, you know, through email, a virtual party, create your own walk, a lemonade stand, whatever is important to you. This year, my daughter said she wants to maybe try a fishing contest, and I don't know how that's going to work, but we'll see. But just try to think about ways to fundraise and what's important to you, and how to just, it's really important. People are donating because of you and your personal story. So it's really important to tell your story. And I'm going to pass it over to Christina Hershey. She's going to tell specifics on setting up your link, and let's get excited about raising money for research.
Great, thanks, Amanda. Hi, everyone. I'm Christina Hershey. I was diagnosed in 2019, and we're going to spend the next couple of minutes talking more about actually how you go about fundraising and raising money that we've been talking about so far, which is so crucial for these amazing research projects that are hopefully in the pipeline. So. Okay, so let's go ahead and we'll get started. We have some slides, if everyone can see the slides here. So we're just going to briefly chat through how you actually go about creating an ALK-positive fundraising campaign. And there's really 2 different ways that you can do this, aside from some of the smaller, really great ideas that Amanda just shared. These 2 focus primarily through donation platforms. So Kindful is our organization donation platform. Some of you may be familiar with this platform. We've used it now, I think, for about 1.5 years, maybe close to 2 years. But we have used them in previous walk challenges for the in the spring, and then last year as well. So we will be having Lung Cancer Awareness Month campaigns again. And what you can do is Kindful's a great platform to use if you plan on emailing or texting your actual fundraising page to your different contacts. You can also easily share the link through all of your social media channels, such as Facebook, Instagram, and or LinkedIn. The other platform that you can use is just directly right through Facebook. So many people probably see people doing birthday fundraisers or fundraisers for various different organizations. And ALK-positive is set up through Facebook, to where you can just create a fundraiser with just a few quick little steps. Okay, go to the next slide. Okay, so first we'll talk through some more specifics around Kindful. So there's a lot of tools that are available that can help you set up your page. What you're going to want to do is directly through our website, ALKpositive.org. On the right-hand side, you can go to the Donate tab, and then the drop-down menu, select Fundraise 2022, and then you'll see the prompts right there through Kindful to go ahead and create a team. And what it does is it will surface up several different prompts and walk you through step by step exactly how to set up your campaign. But if you do have any trouble, we've created a step-by-step tutorial guide that you can reference back as you go if you run into any challenges. Okay, next slide. Okay, so this is actually my current campaign through Kindful. And what you want to do is before you set one up, go ahead and take a look at some active campaigns just to kind of get some inspiration, some tips, and what you like about some people's campaigns that you could incorporate into your own. So a few tips here, obviously give your page a memorable title or a campaign name. So I've named my campaign Christina's Crusaders. So that's what I think, you know, those are my supporters that are, you know, fighting right alongside me. You also want to add photos. So you can add a profile photo. So you can see myself and my family there. And then also a like a cover photo. So this is actually a picture of my my support team here in Washington, D.C. at the Breathe Deep walk back in 2019. So to me, those are just two relevant photos that I want to share as I spread the word for fundraising. You can also see some additional tips. Use shorter statements. So in the quotes there, that's kind of like your mission, your why. Why are you fundraising? Why is this important to you? But then also below, you can tell your story. And as Amanda had said, this really is impactful, making it personal and really, you know, sharing why this is important to you and to fundraise. Next slide. Okay, so after you've gone ahead and set up your platform, this is now where you're going to want to start spreading the word. So who are your supporters? Who are the people that you feel that you want to share this information with and help meet your fundraising goals? So your friends, your family, coworkers, community members, through your social media connections. And then think about what it is you're going to say. So obviously, if you have your Kindful page, you can put that link in a personalized email. And we've created some email templates, some suggested verbiage that you can use if you kind of get stuck with how to craft that email. You can also share your link along with the social media cards, which we're going to talk about in just a few minutes. And you want to share frequently during Lung Cancer Awareness Month. So, you know, maybe you've midway hit your goal. You want to share that progress that you've made so far. I'm only $100 away from meeting my goal. Will you help me? And then at the end, once you've met your goal or once our campaign is over, because you can always exceed your goal, be sure to thank your donors. So send a handwritten thank you card, just send an email, or if you do the fundraising through Facebook or social media, publicly recognize them on that social media channel. Okay, next slide. Okay, so if you do, again, if you have any questions about Kindful, we'll be sure to share the email address that you can reach out to a team member on the fundraising committee, and we'll continue to do everything we can to support you. But the other option is just setting up a fundraiser through Facebook. So again, like I said, a lot of people have done a birthday fundraiser or a different charity fundraiser, and we are in Facebook system. And so really with just a few easy step-by-step clicks, you can create a Facebook fundraiser. And you just want to do the same type of tips that we've already been talking about. So make it personal, tell your story, include some Lung Cancer Awareness Month facts to really kind of create awareness as well with the fundraising option. And then you also want to make it shareable within Facebook so that other people can actually spread the fundraiser to others. Okay, next slide. Okay, so how do you stay in the know? There's a lot of really exciting things that we're going to be talking about throughout Lung Cancer Awareness Month. We're going to have new statistics, new facts. We might have some fun incentives to share along the way, and just how close we are to hitting our fundraising goals throughout the month. So we have a separate Facebook group. It's the ALK-positive Fundraising Ideas and Research Updates group. And this is going to be a great place that people can share their success stories, ask questions. We'll also be giving some inspiration some small fundraising ideas just to kind of keep people motivated throughout the month and ongoing. We also have a huge section on the website, the LCAM 2022 section. And here's where you can go to find actual lung cancer awareness facts, all of these step-by-step instructions for creating your campaign that we just talked through. Everything is posted there. So it's a great place to go back and reference anything that we're talking about tonight. And then, of course, just information on the research updates and all these exciting things that are going on. So if you have questions about fundraising, we are here for you. You can email us at fundraising@alkpositive.org, and we will do our best to support you all. So if you guys have questions, we'll discuss at the end of the call. But for now, I'm going to turn it over to Yvonne, who's in London. And she's going to talk through the exciting social media aspect.
Hi, everyone. I'm Yvonne Diaz, and as Christina said, I'm joining you from London. Sorry, I'm trying to advance the slides and they're not moving. Here we go. So I'm joining you from London. I was diagnosed just last August with ALK-positive lung cancer, and it's a pleasure to be helping out with the social media campaign and also be doing this myself. So it's a really exciting time for us. And obviously the social media is really here to help all of the fundraising. So some of you will already have great social media networks and be sharing. So we're creating awareness, doing the fundraising. It's a really great thing to get involved. In terms of what I'm going to cover today, I'm going to cover the social media cards that we're going to be using this year and what are we trying to achieve, how to request your cards, how to get them commissioned, and also how to follow the social media, our charities on social media rather, and some top tips. And again, just cover briefly how to keep informed. So here are the cards. So as you can see, well, maybe I will just start off by saying this year, for the first time, ALK-positive Inc. and ALK-positive International have developed a single lung cancer awareness social media campaign. And this is really all about the importance of medical research. And obviously, as we've all been saying here today, without research, we wouldn't be here, and we really need it for the future. So it's really, we're sticking with our line, more research equals more life. So that's our hashtag, more research, more life. And while we're working together as two, we'll be fundraising for ALK-positive Inc. and ALK-positive International. You can choose the one you're supporting. On social media, we're going to appear as one. So you see the cards we're going to be posting from our charities don't have the logos, but the cards you will share with your respective audiences will. So you can request the logo you want on your card, and all of this will become super, super clear. So what we're using in the cards, it's a really clear and succinct and unexpected story about the individual here, really members of our community. You can see in our sample here, we have Jamie Gibbard, who's here in the UK. And he's just saying in quotes here, I'm a father, I'm a husband, I have stage 4 lung cancer. We have two photo options that we can use. One of them is really kind of a stark photo where you really stand out, and it's really kind of highlighting you as an individual affected by this condition. Or another one is more emotive, again, showing you in your personal life and really, again, drawing emotion about the reality of this disease. And all the links that draw back either to your page or ALK-positive Inc., the charity you choose, are going to be in your post, in the post we post as well. So that's kind of the examples of how all the pieces come together. Oh my goodness, what's happening here? Sorry. So I'll cover the cards again in brief. So really what we need from each of you are the lines you want in your card. So what do you want those 3 lines to be? The kind of photo style you want to go with. So if you want, you can request the 2 photos. We don't mind producing 2 different styles. And then we're going to ask you for some other information, like, where you're from. It's really nice to include where you're from because it really shows how this disease is impacting so many people of all ages all around the world. So please do include the location. And if you could include any other information, your diagnosis here, any kind of hobbies. If your hobby relates to your photo, that's even a little bit nicer. So if you're off sailing, you can say, I enjoy sailing, etc. The cards can be about anything. So in the bottom example here, we have Jamie saying, I love live music, I work in IT, and I have stage 4. So it just doesn't have to be this kind of family-oriented message as well. We're producing the cards in 2 sizes. Rectangle is for Twitter and LinkedIn, and square is for Facebook and Instagram. If you provide us your social media handles, we can also mention you when we're putting them in our social media posts from the different charities. But if you don't want to, obviously you don't need to, we don't need to tag anyone. We completely understand some people don't want to mention who they are. So in terms of how to get the cards, it's a pretty simple process. We have a Google form, and Summer, if she hasn't already, is going to be putting this link right in the chat here. So you just go to this form, you request your card, put in the information that we've covered, and then you're going to send your high quality photo or photos to communication@alkpositive.org. In order of getting ready, the best thing to do is really, obviously we're kicking off the campaign officially on the 1st of November. We're going to be starting some warm-up activity really this coming week. So you'll start seeing some like posting about Lung Cancer Awareness Month is coming, please get involved. And the best way to get ready right now is start following our respective charities if you don't already. So we'll put this presentation with the links inside our Lung Cancer Awareness Facebook group that Christina just mentioned. And these are going to be live links. You can just click and follow our accounts there. But we really encourage getting involved and obviously following those different accounts. And in terms of where to go and what you should do, how you manage this, obviously, really the ideal timing is to start on the 1st of November. You can start just before, or even that week if you can't do it immediately on the 1st. And really the nicest thing to do is to start with a bit of an intro post. So tell your story, a little bit about yourself, share your own card, when you were diagnosed, a little bit about the background, and just populate your own photo there. We recommend regular posting on your personal social media accounts. Obviously, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn are where you have your best personal networks. Those tend to lead to the best fundraising, where people know you personally. Amanda was talking earlier about emailing contacts, and obviously that's great, but on social, this is the best way of reaching people who know and care about you. And then just let your community know you're going to be sending regular stories from our ALK community to help that education. You're going to be updating your followers on how you're doing on your fundraising, and as Christina mentioned, some of the incentives that we're going to be having as well, and different opportunities around that. Other top tips, really regular engagement is key. So doing that post on the 1st of November is great, but really whether you decide I'm going to do this every few days, I'm going to do it once a week, I'm going to even do it every day, whatever feels comfortable for you. We're going to have lots of different cards, so you don't have to only share your own. There's lots of power in sharing everyone else's stories. We expect to have quite a number of stories, so one thing to do is also to combine a few stories into one and say, here's a bit more about lung cancer patients, thrivers, survivors, etc. And here's what we have in common. We need more research for more life. And if you are pressed for time, another simple thing, now that you're following also the different charities, is just to hit the share button, the retweet button, etc., and just share what we're posting as well from the charity. So if that makes life easier for you, that's another option for you. And when you're posting, we do recommend that you tag our respective charities. That way we can also see your posts and like them. So that's a nice way to create more engagement, get more eyes on your campaign. Please do use the hashtags. There's 2 of them really. More Research, More Life is the one we are using, but the broader lung cancer community will be using LCAM, LungCam. So it's a great way to use both and to really, again, make that message go even further. And just a minor thing, do capitalize when you're using More Research, More Life. It's important to capitalize. It just makes it stand out, each word a bit more. So capitalize the first letter of each word, if you will. And we're going to be producing these toolkits. So we said there's going to be all these other stories. We're going to make life pretty easy for you, hopefully, by sharing the cards and the suggested posts that you can write. So if you don't know the individual, you don't need to feel bad. We will help you have a few words that you can share about the individual that you like. Maybe you do know a member of the community, and obviously that makes it even nicer for you. But if you don't worry about that as well. We're also quite aware that not everyone feels very comfortable talking about their condition. I know last year I was diagnosed, I mentioned in August, and in October, I really didn't want to be out there. But one thing to do might be to share our social media toolkits with your friends, family, coworkers, networks, etc., and ask them to share. They don't need to mention you. They don't need to tag you. Really, a big part of this is also raising awareness that anyone can get lung cancer. So even from that standpoint, it's quite nice to really just help with that message. And be sure to watch with the posts we'll be putting out there, liking, commenting, and we'll engage back with you. So it's the way the platforms work. They do reward more activity. So when you're posting, that creates more engagement and it goes higher in the algorithm. So that really helps more people see the post. You can see an example there. It's a little bit small on the right, but Christina and Kirk may have mentioned that we have the lung cancer awareness page on the ALK-positive website, and there's great facts and figures from Longevity and others. And you can just use one of those facts saying, you can comment like, yes, it's true. Most of us are diagnosed at stage 4, 100,000 people are diagnosed each year. Just sharing a little fact helps with the education, creates more engagement and more awareness. So that's a nice, easy way of, if you don't know what to say, that's a simple thing. Again, I'll just repeat what Christina said earlier. Please do join the Lung Cancer Fundraising Facebook page. We're going to be sharing all the cards in there. We'll share this guide, again, reminding you the instructions of how to request the cards, how to set up Kindful. If you have any questions on the social media cards itself, please email us at communication@alkpositive.org. And you already heard the Kindful questions on that goes to fundraising@alkpositive.org. So we know that the lung cancer awareness campaign obviously starts on the 1st of November, but this is really a great time to start now, getting yourself ready with your story, getting your photos, getting your cards commissioned. It's never too early to start on that. So really encourage everyone to please do so. And that's it from me.
Thanks, Yvonne. I really appreciate it. If you can stop sharing your screen, we'll start answering some questions. And Amanda, do you have any that came up on the chat that you want to announce?
I saw Tammy's question, sending information to your local media. I don't know if I went about it the right way. I went on our local news websites and then contact us or wherever it said for emails. I just said, November is Lung Cancer Awareness Month. I'm hoping that you all are giving some awareness. Lung cancer is the #1 cancer killer in the United States with the least amount of funding, of government funding and funding. And just gave quick facts, but also I am a local resident in the Knoxville area, blah, 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 blah. And I also kind of stalked their Twitter and went to the specific news anchors and direct messaged them of, they're looking for, news stories and just that's the way it worked for me. And maybe some other people can explain what worked for them, but I just kind of gave quick facts about lung cancer. November's Lung Cancer Awareness Month, and also that you're a local resident and you would like to, you hope that they'll consider you sharing your story and how important it is that anyone with lungs can get lung cancer.
I just have to comment that I think people will be surprised once they announce a campaign of whatever they want to do. Every dollar counts, and I know that we have to match funds out there. So if you raise $200, it's $400 and so forth and so on. And I think that a lot of people look at fundraising and say, oh, I don't want to fundraise, but you can make a difference. I've been doing this since 2013. And even the people that are out there that fundraised before, go back to the same donors. I'm telling you, they're out there. Just put it on your social media. So that's my 2 cents. But do we have anyone else that would like to unmute and ask a question? I know, Ruby, you're not shy. unmute. You had some questions there, Ruby.
Well, no, I just had a thought, Mark, when you were talking about telling people to post on social media. If you don't have social media, you probably still have people that you email with and follow those. I think that's a great idea. And also I agree with the comment about, telling people that any amount, is helpful. Some people want to give, but they don't have a lot of, accessible funds or available funds in their budget for donating, but they might give $5 or $10 if you told them that any amount is helpful. And so I just want to encourage people who might not have social media, that doesn't mean that you're left out of fundraising.
I just remember you and I speaking about fundraising. You put a fundraising up and you didn't think you were going to get that many people to donate, and you were
Yeah,
astounded at how much money you raised. So
yeah. I think I was scared to ask people for money. I didn't want them to feel turned off or annoyed. And I didn't want to bother them, but at the same time, I had a lot of people in my circle who were concerned about me, who wanted to see how they could help. And so once I did put forward something like, if you give to this organization, you're directly supporting research that helps me and other people like me, then that was encouraging for my community, for the people that I know. And then also by proxy, they wanted to share and get other people involved. So yeah, I related to, I don't know if it was Amanda who mentioned the lemonade stand that they wound up raising $5,000 ultimately. I had a similar experience. I thought, well, I'll set my goal at 500 and I raised 7,500. And it was, it was doubled. So that made me feel even better to know that I could be part of raising a lot more money than I ever thought that I could.
that's amazing. Summer was posting a bunch of links, and I highly recommend that you jump on Facebook, our 2 Facebook groups basically, and have the link going to the Facebook fundraising page, because all the tools are in the toolbox in that Facebook group. So I know we have roughly about 70 people that popped in. There's so many more that are new to our group that don't even know what's going, their heads are still spinning. Please reach out to your friends that are part of ALK-positive, and we really need to get behind, because as Ken stated earlier, we do make a difference. And Kirk, I know you like to unmute yourself and tell us how much money that we're giving out this year alone. It's amazing. That's very cute, Kirk.
well, thanks, Mark. Yeah, well, just as a reminder, we will be giving out, announcing soon, that we'll be funding $1.5 million in grants. There'll be 3 grants that we'll be awarding, and when I say we, that's all of us. That's coming from ALK-positive. That's all money that's raised by all you guys and everybody else as part of our ALK community. And I'm excited. Look for that news to be coming out soon. We just have to there's a couple of legal things that have to be I's dotted and T's crossed kind of thing, and then we'll be announcing that. And it's very exciting. Very exciting, and I'm hoping that that'd be one of those things that Ken could elaborate on when we're allowed to talk about it, just because it's falls under his area. So I think it's important for you guys to know that this is this fundraising is put to good use, and is so important for all of us. And a lot of that information is on the website, so you can look it up if you like. So thanks, Mark.
Thanks. And I'm going to pick on Ken for a second. Ken, I see you on my screen, so I know you're still there. And that is coming from Novartis, which is probably $1 billion corporation. I mean, this small group that we have of people, are you amazed of the energy and the what you got yourself into, basically?
No, that's been one of the that's one of the greatest resources, right, of ALK positive is the wealth, diversity, intellect, dedication, determination of the people a part of ALK positive. It's really amazing, Mark, and it's energizing.
Well, thanks for coming on. And I know that Ray brought you out of retirement. So you had probably a small, short time retiring.
Yeah,
So,
well, I'm a failure at retiring. I've retired twice. So, yeah.
That's good to know.
You only live once. You only live once, Mark. You might as well make the best of it, right? We're all sort of sharing that
That's when we're in the live
philosophy.
hat.
Yep.
I think Christina had a question.
Yes, so someone asked about writing a check. And so I just posted that information in the chat as well. And that information is also posted on the website in the LCAM 2022 page.
Does anyone else have a question or comment before I turn it over to Summer with our closing comments?
Mark, I see that Nancy has her hand raised. Nancy Geringer. Sorry, Nancy, if I'm mispronouncing your last name.
You're okay. You got it okay. I just wanted to mention, because somebody mentioned it on the ALK positive group, and I followed through with it, that Amazon Prime, if you have that and you buy things on there, they have a group that they call Smile, where a portion of your purchase will be donated to an organization. And the ALK positive organization is now part of that. So yeah, that I don't know what the amount of money is that they donate, but any little bit will help.
Yeah, this is Debbie Martinez, and I can speak to that. We actually did get our first check. I know we had some fits and starts when we started, but last month we did receive $1,650 from Amazon. Now that's going back several months. They pay quarterly, and it can take 2 months after the end of the quarter to get the funds. It is a small percentage, but it adds up if we're all doing it. And so you just go to smile.amazon.com and you can select ALK positive as the charity it is out there. So thank you for bringing that up, Nancy.
You're welcome.
Does anyone else have any comments, questions, or before Summer makes a couple announcements? All right, Summer, I guess the mic is yours.
Oh, thank you. So yes, thank you for everyone who participated in all of the planning that went into this meeting. We know that fundraising isn't the most exciting topic, but when we are fighting to save our lives, we need to find a way to be inspired and band together. And it worked out great introducing Ken this evening, and him and Kirk getting us fired up about money we have raised in the past, and that there's a real path forward with that. And I am so anti-fundraising. However, 2 years ago, I did just put it on my social media page reluctantly, like, oh, I can't just have everybody else fundraising for me. And so I did it, and like $8,000 later, it just added up so fast. So, you know, people from high school come out of the woodwork or wherever. And I think too, hitting that, like Ruby was mentioning, that personal piece. You can even go into like, I'm on this treatment, there's one more, or there might not be, or I got to turn my, in order for Keytruda, which everybody seems to hear about, to work for me, there needs to be more research, whatever. I think just hitting that personal note. So anyway, hopefully you could find all of the links that I was posting, but too, if you go to the Facebook group, there will be some there, and we'll probably do follow-up emails also for those of you that are not on social media. So a couple announcements of things to look forward to. Halloween happy hour coming your way. Thursday, October 27th at 9 o'clock. Eastern time. So for anyone that wants to just pop in, say hello, you know, without being recorded and your mute button on. There will be that. And then also right now our next scheduled ALKtALK is on November 13th with the title, I'm Progressing, Now What? So there's a document that always seems to be floating around in our group that's about 2 years old, but it's still tried and true. We're going to bring that to life with some experts. And, you know, you don't have to be progressing now to attend that. You want to have those tools in your pockets. So when you go for your next scans, you feel a little bit in control. I too have scanxiety, but I feel like laying in that bed, I'm like, okay, if something comes back, I'm going to do one of these 3 things. So that is what you have to look forward to. And also that evening, behind the scenes for a long time now, this longitudinal study has been in the works, and you may have seen that posted in the ALK-positive group. Also, emails will be coming about that. But this is your opportunity to sign up and give back to all of us, to each other, to future ALK patients, just by sharing your records and answering some questions for this story. So, and that will be also on that November 13th talk that we'll dive deeper into that. I'm not the expert to do that for you, but I can tell you it is on the agenda. So thank you all so much for coming. Any more questions before we conclude? And thank you again to all of our participants. This was so huge. This has been a work in progress for months and months. Especially Yvonne in the UK staying up tonight. We are so grateful. So that was amazing.
I just wanted to say, if you haven't ordered through the ALK-positive shop to get your lung cancer awareness t-shirts or whatnot, you may want to do it now so you can get it before November.
Great, that's a great point. And some of those proceeds too end up coming back to ALK-positive as well. So yes, to the Yeah Best Life. Anybody would know the exact? We can post that too, but your LCAM shirts can be ordered through there. Awesome, Ruby. Thank you. Well, so nice to see you all in the little squares.
Thank you, everyone. We'll see you again.
Thank
you.
you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Ken
Thank
and everyone.
you.
See ya.
Everybody.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Dana, for posting.
Thanks,
Human
everyone.
Kind. Yeah.
Thanks, Kirk.
Sure, Ruby.
Bye, everyone.
See ya, John Boy.
Bye-bye.
Bye.